Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christy, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy. I cannot wait for you to listen to this episode. So this episode that's coming up soon is with a person that I have found to be a mentor without him even meaning to be. His name is Tom Goodlet, and Tom started out as a pastor at our church. However, I got to know Tom in a slightly different instance because he decided to start a publishing company. And his publishing company published not one, but two books for me. Learning Can Stick, a guide to making every learning interaction safe, logical, fun, and memorable, and make work fun so people don't quit. And when I first met Tom, I knew him as a pastor, right? And yet he was so much more than that, in that he was out in the world trying to figure things out. And so what I appreciate about Tom and how he's done things is that he recognized that his talents were far-reaching, and he was willing to use those talents to pursue his passion. So he talks in this episode about a couple different things that I think you're going to find to be really powerful. He talks about how leadership is not something that you can do alone, and that you need to leverage the talents of the people around you. But he also talks about that happens in seasons, and you don't necessarily need the same people all the time. So sometimes you've learned everything you can learn from person number one, and it's time to move on to person number two. And that might feel yucky. It doesn't mean you cut that person out of your life. It just means that they're not at that point in time serving you to make you better. Instead, it's time for them to just be a friend or to just be whatever, you fill in the blank. So I really appreciated about Tom. But a couple things that are fun about Tom that you just need to know. One, he and I are about exactly the same age. And so a lot of our references are similar, and a lot of the things that make us laugh tend to be the same. As a matter of fact, we do have actually very similar personalities, which you might see in this conversation as well. But what I like about Tom, in addition to the fact that he's funny and he notices things, is that he's able to say things in a way that you'll remember. So perhaps one of the most impactful things that he's ever said to me happened when I was writing my book. So he was my author coach. And if you listen to this episode or a couple others, you'll know that I actually serve as an author coach now. But when I was writing my book, Tom was my author coach. An author coach is someone who walks alongside you and tries to make your book better. Pretty awesome. Well, he said to me after reading my book, he said, Christy, I need less Christy Kent and more Super McMullen. And I literally said to him, dude, I have no idea what you mean by that. And he went further, and I'm glad he did. He said, look, your superpower is your personality, but I don't see your personality in this book yet. I see a whole lot of great information that nobody's going to get to because you're not showing them who you are. And it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, oh my goodness, wait, I can have fun with this, can't I? I can be me. I can be authentically who I am because it's my book. Now, I have to preface it with, I had just finished writing a dissertation. And when you write a dissertation, it's very dry and very clinical and yucky. It's necessary. It's a means to an end, but it is not exactly fun. And so I went back through my book and I said, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to take a karaoke theme and run that karaoke theme through all the chapters. So I literally started with, okay, everybody can sing karaoke, but not everybody should. So instead, there are ways to make karaoke safe, logical, fun, and memorable that will allow you to be in the space. For example, don't sing Freebird. My Lord, that is way too long a song. Instead, sing something that everybody knows, because then they'll join on with you and it'll be a lot of fun for everybody. So those are the kinds of nuggets of wisdom that Tom drops naturally. He can't help himself. It's just kind of who he is. So I hope that you will listen to this episode and get some of those nuggets of wisdom for yourself. I think that what you're going to walk away with on this one is that life doesn't necessarily go in the path that you think it's going to, but it does go in the path it's meant to go if you'll listen. So I don't know who needed to hear that today. I don't know if you needed to hear to be more Super McMullen or to use your superpowers or to recognize that it's okay to have mentors for a time because they're teaching you something for a season. But I do know that productive joy means that you are getting just incrementally better and you're doing so with a smile on your face. Because remember, we don't fire neurons unless there's some sort of joy, some sort of emotion tied to what we're doing. You can choose to have negative emotions tied to what you're doing, but why? I choose joy. And I hope that you will too, because if you choose joy and you're being productive about it, then you're going to figure out a way where fun can meet action.